Storylines here, right? You guys are former teammates, you're buddies, or former buddies, you were roommates. I'm curious, after this has kind of been signed, sealed, and delivered, after the news came out that you two are going to be facing each other, have you guys communicated at all?
Nah, we cut off the communication a long time ago. You know, when he started to get jealous and envious of my rise and success up to the top, you know, he wanted to backstab me like the bum he is, you know, like he does to everybody. He likes to use people and for anything they can do to help him, but as soon as someone is starting to do a little better than him, then he backstabs them and turns them, you know, turns it in the back, you know, puts it, you know, a knife in their back. So, you know, I haven't talked to him, and I won't talk to him until I finish him on March 5th.
Right after the fight with Kamaru, this was the fight that you talked about that you wanted. Why did you want this one against Masvidal so badly?
Yeah, I've wanted this fight for a long time. You know, George has been talking reckless in the media, saying some things, saying it's on site, saying that, you know, if he sees me in the streets, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Okay, I want to see him be accountable for his words. You know, I'm a man of my word. Everything I say, I back it up. So let's see if he can do the same. So this is personal. This isn't about the rankings. This isn't about pay-per-view draws. This isn't about anything other than settling the biggest grudge match the UFC's ever seen. So March 5th, you're going to see the best Colby Chaos Covington.
It's a great grudge match, and it's a rare pay-per-view that doesn't have a title fight headlining the card. That shows us how big this matchup is. There was a lot of back and forth, though, on social media between the two of you, him saying that you didn't want to fight, you saying that he didn't want to fight. It's done now, but what was the holdup and what's the truth?
I mean, honestly, does anybody actually believe anything George says to the media? I mean, he says so much stuff that it's just all fake news. You can't believe anything that guy says. So as soon as Hunter Campbell called me, I signed on the dotted line before he called me. You know, I've been signing that contract for the last 2 years. They were trying to make this fight, you know, after I finished Woodley and finished off his career. And, you know, he was finding any way out of fighting me. So, you know, there was no holdup on my end. It was only holdup on his end. He was asking for more money. He wanted this, he wanted that. So he knows this is a career-ending fight for him.
Colby, not long ago, Jorge said that Donald Trump would be cheering for him in this fight. He said that to the media. What's your reaction to that comment?
My reaction is I'm still team captain. You know, I'm still, you know, Jorge's daddy, and he's just following in the footsteps of his daddy. You know, he wants to be just like me so much that, you know, he wants to do everything I do. But let's be honest, did Jorge even vote for Donald Trump? Because I know I did. I'd love for the voters out there to go look it up and see if Jorge actually voted for Trump. You know, I don't know if they let felons vote for Trump. You know, it's good we got a felon on the Republican side because there's so many felons and criminals on the liberal side. So let's be honest, did he actually even vote for Trump? Someone look that up.
I will have someone look that up. Colby, you're obviously no stranger to having tension, beef coming into a fight. You like to stir the pot, but with this tension feeling about as real as it's going to get, do you use that in the fight, or when it comes to the octagon door being shut, do you shut that out of your mind, or do you use it as fuel in the fight?
You know, I use it, Laura, as fuel in my training. You know, I've stepped up my training to another level that I've never trained before. I'm training harder, you know, more diligently and just more precise than I ever have in my career. I feel like I'm really starting to hit leaps and bounds and just evolve at a pace that I've never evolved before. And it just stems to this personal grudge match, wanting to finish this and move on to the next order of business. So I won't use anything in the fight. You know, there's no emotions when I step inside that octagon. It's all business. You know, it's all serious focus and game plan. You know, I'm not going to throw my game plan out the window. I'm going to go out there and fight how I fight. And March 5th, you know, Jorge's in for a rude awakening. He's not going to be the same person after I'm finished with him. And no matter how much the UFC pays him, on March 5th when he wakes up in a hospital bed, all that money won't be worth it.
Colby, as a fan of the sport, it is always a treat to see your name pop up on a card. It's nice to have it happen not that long after your last fight, maybe 4 or 5 months. How important is that activity to you to be able to get back in the octagon a little bit sooner than we've seen you be able to do in the past?
Yeah, it's very important. You know, I want to keep improving inside that octagon and show that I'm the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in the world. You know, I'm coming off a fight for a world title fight where I won 3 out of 5 rounds. So I am the champion right now. I'm the people's champ. I'm America's champ. I'm Donald Trump's favorite fighter. And March 5th, you're going to see a new Colby Chaos Covington. And I'm just grateful, you know, to the UFC, to Dana White, Hunter Campbell for this opportunity, you know, to let me get back in that octagon within 4 months of my title fight and go win that King of Miami belt on March 5th. And it's so ironic that this fight is on 305 because I am the king of the 305, King of Miami, and I'm going to put on a show for Miami on 305 day.
Colby, for all the bad blood now that you and George share, how did you guys become friends? And like, when you look back on that friendship, is there anything positive that you think back to? Like, I know that it's hard now whenever it kind of sours, but like before there were so many videos and pictures of you guys seeming like you're really good friends.
Yeah, you know, DC, you know, the natty goat first and foremost. It's always an honor to take your questions. But, you know, I can't really take any positives from our relationship, man. Jorge is such a piece of shit person. I mean, cheats on his wife, cheats on his taxes, doesn't talk to his kids, just uses people. And that's all he was doing, DC. He was using me because he needed someone that was going to push him high pace in training, and someone that was going to give him wrestling knowledge and train with him every day and be by his side to help him along his journey. But as soon as, you know, I started leveling up and getting up close to him and passing him up in the rankings, that's when he kicked me to the curb and he backstabbed me for money and fame. So, you know, he's a jealous and envious little bitch, and I promise DC he's going to pay the ultimate price on March 5th, only on pay-per-view.